You're welcome to trade, invest, and live in South Africa. That's the open invitation extended by the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa as his country begins the process of dealing with xenophobic attacks. Now, while condemning the act, Mr. Ramaphosa, who is in Ghana on an official visit, said the action of a minority of South Africans cannot be allowed to drag the image of the country into the mud. At least 12 people were killed and hundreds arrested in August this year after mobs attacked foreign-owned shops in Johannesburg and Pretoria. The wave of xenophobic attacks was blamed on the belief that foreigners, mainly migrants from other African countries, were to blame for South Africa's social and economic woes. The attacks drew condemnation from across the African continent, and at a joint news conference at Jubilee House, President Ramaphosa said the matter is being dealt with. Presidential correspondent Elton John Brobe was there. Here's his report.
The attacks that occurred in our country earlier this year was an occurrence that pained us a great deal as South Africans. We were deeply pained, and it was for that reason that I dispatched a number of envoys around the continent, and they came here to Ghana and received a warm welcome from President. And in the end, this is a matter that is part of the migration challenge that the whole continent is facing. And it just so happened that we handled the sharp end of it, where people were killed, many of them South Africans. At the time, 10 people were killed, 8 South Africans and 2 who were Zimbabweans. And that for us is totally unacceptable. And we've said it over and over again. We are totally against any form of violence that is perpetrated against people from other nations. South Africa is open to all people on our continent to come, to visit, and to trade, to do business, to live. So we say we remain open in that regard. And we've started our own process of raising the level of awareness and consciousness among South Africans about how best we should relate to people from other nations, how we should treat them, respect them, and welcome them. And in the main, that is happening. We are one of those countries who've never really put foreigners or people from other nations in special camps. We've always integrated them in society. And many, many people from various parts of our that South Africa is open to other Africans, but we will also be saying we need to improve and increase people-to-people contact between South Africans and the rest of the continent, and we would like to see that happening throughout the continent as well. So that is the common message that we are going to be putting out: respect for other people, acceptance of people from other countries, other cultures, and other languages, because this is our value system. This is what we are all about as South Africans. So we want to encourage people not to be fearful of coming to South Africa. Yes, the issue of migration is a fault line, and I know for a fact that many countries are having to deal with it, and it's not only Africa. The European continent is dealing with it. Latin America is also dealing with it. America in the north is also dealing with it. And we've got to deal with it on the basis of respecting other people's human rights and using what we talk about, Ubuntu, that you are a person through respecting the humanity of other people. And that is what we are stressing. in South Africa at all times.